Hey, y'all. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Frank,
come
are you
on.
there?
Sorry, I was making coffee. Sorry about that. Right, so, let's get that off. Doxing the whole thing. So we've got, where's the dongle? Quickly say hello to the chat. Peggy was here first. She wins the race. You get nothing for winning, but there you go. Aurora. Oh, we've got a new emoji. Aurora, would you like to show the new emoji?
Oh, shit.
Because we now have 14 members. It says Frank, Aurora, Frank. Simon from West Yorkshire. Aurora again. Rescue, Louise. Hi, Simon.
Hey, y'all.
Eli's here. Okay, so we're going to go over today the Flora 4 case, what Jinx thinks is important, and things that I thought might be of interest to people. So to start off with, let's do a little timeline of what went down and when. So, Jinx, if you start us off with when it happened, what happened, and things like that.
Yeah, so it was in November of 2016. The fire happened around 3 a.m. And, we all know that Galen lost all four of her daughters in one night. Then the initial fire investigator, which was Dennis Randall, had come in and made his initial statement approximately 2 minutes later that it was an arson, but that there was multiple points of origin as well. But then, there was other fire marshals that came in and did investigations, and they said quite the opposite. So I always like to point that out.
Oh, I've just been saying something. Let me see if I can add it to my StreamYard. Do you want me to? Hold on. I've just been saying, I think it's really good actually. It's for your card, it is. And
Oh, from News 13?
hold up. It's this. Okay, so I'll read what the email says. I won't say who it's from. You'll probably know anyway, but I'm not going to go into that. If anybody will use one, I will order a couple extra next time. Rescue all the dogs. And he's got the girls' names on. And then he's got, like, they were killed in November 16 in Flora, Indiana. Who started the fire? Call ISP. And that's to go on the back of your car, I believe.
Yeah,
I
them
think on the
decals.
side windows as well. So that's something that if anyone would be interested, would be pretty cool.
I know, I love those.
Hello, Mustang. So I've got some images here. If you could walk us through, Jinx, what's happening in these images, because I know you're heavily involved in this. Start here.
Okie dokie.
Are they
So
coming up for you?
this is the Girls Plots in Crown Hill Cemetery, and that's in Indianapolis. It's a really beautiful cemetery, and they're specifically in a section of the cemetery that's dedicated to, young children that had lost their lives. This is actually when we were decorating for Halloween. As you can see, we get a little crazy, but it's fun and it's really pretty. And, the only thing that I can say is if you guys do ever get a chance to stop by, please do. If you want to put flowers, don't put live flowers. There are deer out there and they will eat them.
So actively cleaning up the graves and then seasonally decorating it for them.
Yep. Yes, we have people that stop out there, all the time. Actually, Rescue definitely is one that stops out there and just checks everything and makes sure everything's, still looking pretty and whatnot. And then, Kathy and I go out there and seasonally decorate, and Rescue does too. And there's some other sisters, like Kathy's sister and whatnot, Patty. She's just a lovely lady. But yeah, it's a group of us. We've had other people who have gone to the memorial walks that have also gone out there and decorated with us as well.
Yeah, the memorial walks that Randy sets up.
Mm-hmm.
And he does a fantastic job with them. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on Galen and Kathy Clendenning have both asked that people do keep talking about the girls, but don't contact them to do a live because they're not about the YouTube drama. They're not about, the hype around YouTube. They want justice, but they want to do it their way. If that is that right, Jinx? Because you were the one that spoke
Yes,
to them.
that's absolutely right. They're not active on social media like that anymore because it's just been too much drama and it's caused, personal grief that has been
Yeah,
very deep and hurtful. So, and I don't blame them. So, they request that if you have any questions, call the Indiana State Police, especially if you have any information or tips, to call them. And if you want any information, the website is up and it's active and it has a plethora of information on there.
survivors of crimes owe you nothing, ladies and gentlemen. They don't. They're not puppets that you can just, you know, because we've seen it with Delphi where certain creators seem to think that the families are there for them to answer their questions, and they're not. So respect Galen's wishes. Respect Kathy's gone live with absolutely. She doesn't care what side of the fence you sit on, as long as you're respectful when she's on. So now she's taking a step back. Show the respect back. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
She doesn't need to keep coming on people's channels. There's plenty of live streams out there. Don't hate, create. She has her on there. She's been everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
So
she's been
be
on
respectful
Frosty's
of their wishes.
channel, Blue's channel. I mean, she's been on quite a few channels. Coach
On
Kev's
whose channel?
channel.
Frosties.
Yep, Coach Kev too. So
Yeah. Well, Frosty's took all his content down.
oh yeah, that's right.
So I did see that. I've seen that his memberships are back up there. That's a good sign.
Yeah, that is. You never know.
So this, yeah. So
Wildflower.
this is the memorial bench. I don't know who funded this memorial bench. Do you know anything
That
about this one?
well, that has all 6 of the girls' names on it. It has both the Flora girls and the Delphi girls' names on it. And I want to say that was the community that did that. I think it was the Follies or whatever. Now I do know that the next one, if you have the ones with the at the school,
Yeah, I knew about
those,
this one. I read up on this one.
yeah, you got up on that one. Then you shared.
Yeah. So these benches were girls that went to school. Most importantly, someone who was best friends with one of the girls, and
Yep.
she went around with the scouts collecting bottle caps,
Mm-hmm.
and It was to make a bench, but I'm guessing all the benches are memorial benches.
Yep, all 4 of them. Each girl has their own bench.
And this was done out of collecting bottle caps and melting them down.
Yep. The girls'
And then
fellow
here,
school, mates.
oh, God.
The girls' classmates their classmates went around collecting all these to memorialize them at their school, a permanent memorial. They've got little
And this
placards with their
is,
names on them and everything.
yeah, and this is part of the memorial walks because, as everybody knows, Randy with a big golden heart, he does it for, well, he did it for Abby and Libby, and is he still actively doing them for Galen, the Flora Fire walks?
Yes, and then he's also done a couple for Tabitha Range Snooks as well, and then he's done some for Karina McClurkin as well.
Yeah, because he does a lot for a lot of the cases. So he gets a lot of grief online, and I don't like that because he literally he does nothing. He does nothing but good things. It doesn't cost anybody to go to these memorial walks. I mean, he sent me 2 bracelets out. He hasn't asked me for any money for them. They've already arrived. If he wanted it, like, you know what I mean. If he wanted some money for it, I'd happily send him because, you know what I mean.
Exactly.
They've cost him money.
Yeah, Randy's a great guy. He's got such a big heart, and why people want to pick on him, I'll never understand. He does nothing but help bring awareness to cases, and he helps people come together to have a moment of memory for these girls and these cases as well, So it's all positivity that comes out of him, I swear.
Yeah. So just going to go through the chat quickly. So next, what's the report you want me to get up? We'll get it up.
So it's the Vergon report. I mean, essentially, he is a fire marshal investigator or a fire investigator, and he specializes specifically in this. He has a lot of background and schooling to make him very well qualified for his job. And, there was just some things like, one thing that I always like to point out is that, about the accelerants and things like that, because in the initial report of Dennis Randall, he was saying multiple points of origin. And whenever, Vergon came in, and like I said, he is way more experienced than Dennis Randall. He was like, no, that's not the case. There's essentially 1 point of origin, and then that's at the back door.
Okay, so what I'm going to do first is, let's grab it. I don't know how I'm going to share it. Minimize, so I don't need that up. So let's present. See, I can image file it, I guess.
I mean, I have it pulled up right now. I mean, if you want me to read it, because it's just a one Q&A part.
Yeah, if you do that, and I can get it up for visual for these guys, like.
Yeah, so I mean, it says, it's just one little part. It was on the very last page. All it says is question. All right, as you sit here, do you have an opinion whether an accelerant was used or an ignitable fluid was used? Do you lean towards one way or another? And Vergon's reply is, it appears there could have been one used, but I can't say that for 100% sure one was used. It's always nice to confirm with the laboratory reports confirming the presence. And again, they have confirmed that there was the presence of an accelerant in that area of the back door. They haven't declared exactly what that accelerant was. But there wasn't multiple points of origin, like I said, in the first report by Dennis Randall.
Okay, can you see that?
The memorial walk?
It's loading on my memorial. Now should be the. I'll tell you why. I've got to add it to stage. Honest Tech Memorial walk down like covering it. Okay, so here we are. So this is the report that Jinx was just reading.
Yeah, it's the very bottom page is all that I was reading, about the accelerants.
If you want this, again, we're going to go over the website. The website is in the description. Creators like Coach Kev that have covered this are in the description as well. Anyone can be charged for this. Oh, anything like that is in the description. You got the website that we're going to be going over. You got multiple different things, documents, and that. A lot that I don't think should be on the public need. But Galen and Kathy put the website together to show transparency. So I don't want to show the girls' death certificates and things like that. I don't think there's anything to gain from that.
Agreed.
So this is the report. You say
It's
you
the
read the
very
last
bottom,
page?
like literally, it's like line 20 or 17 through 25. So, yeah, it's at the very bottom.
We're there
And
now.
again, I will give this to anybody. I mean, like I said, the website has everything on it, but if there's anything that I can think of that isn't, I'll get over. If anybody has any request of any information and I have it and it's not on the website, I'll get it right over to Kathy and then get her to upload it on the website for everybody. But as far as I know, that website has everything.
Stop that screen. Let's go again because I want to show. I think the rental agreements on here, and I've seen a lot of people talking about that, but they never say what's in it or anything like that. And I think with the case, surely that's the one that everybody would want to be looking at, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because there's supposed to be fire reports and that in there, and that is in like share this tab instead. StreamYard. Okay, professional. I'm looking today. Okay,
Oh, so
so
speaking.
let me just get this up. So date May 1st, not even a year. Rental agreement with Birch Tree. Is that holidays or holdings? Maybe.
Holdings.
We read, but to Galen Rose. Is that and then that's the address. 1 month. Oh, so it's a month-to-month basis. Sum of 500 due the first. It's 500 the monthly rent. That's not bad actually for America, is it?
I mean, it's a rural area and it was a 2-bedroom duplex. I mean, technically it was a house that was split up into a multiple dwelling. I don't really like to call it a duplex.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they did have 1 bedroom that was at Sayers.
So there's literally nothing in here that says like, this is just a list of rules. Where's the fire? In case of a fire, you know what I mean. Everything in this
Yeah.
property is up to standard. All this should be in this.
I mean, initially, yeah, I mean, like I said, this rental agreement is not very well written. We all know that. And there was things that were supposed to be in there that weren't, but it was still by state law that the renter is supposed to make sure that every single smoke alarm is in working order.
I wouldn't even have this as a pre-tenancy agreement. It is
Yeah.
bad, but so no pet fee. So 2 dogs, small. So you got to pay an extra £25 per dog. There's nothing
Yeah, but she didn't have any
about
cups
fire
or anything like that.
safety. There's nothing about fire safety where, you know, your fire exits are. There's nothing like that in here. It's literally a list of rules. Oh, yeah, gas bills. Tenant agrees to render normal maintenance. Jesus, it is literally the bare bones, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is
Stop.
bare bones, exactly. Like, it's the bare minimum.
And is that legal? Can he legally do that in America?
I
Because
mean,
you wouldn't go.
he was through Birch Tree Holdings, his LLC company. It was Josh Ayers and Troy Hilderman.
Share it out, Simon. Shared. Oh, thank you, Simon. No, Shopper. I don't know. Okay. I can see it now. Yeah, it's funny, ain't it? Like doing a case about 46 children and someone comes in to troll. The mentality of people.
Many, many talented people do that, right?
Yeah. They're disgusting. I've got one more thing I wanted to get up. Where is it? Let's get these off, actually.
Peggy, that's correct. Josh Ayers was actually the president of the Flora City Council, not the Carroll County. But he was the president of the Flora City Council at the time the arson occurred. He has since taken a step down in that row. I don't think he is a city council member at all currently, actually. I would have to check the website to update my information as far as that goes, but I'm almost positive. I know that he's not the city president or the city council president anymore.
So I've got the fire report up. Let me share this tab instead. Am I still here?
That's correct, Chopper. He was it was actually Josh Ayers' parents' house. So that was his childhood home. He grew up in that home. His parents had gifted that home to him. And through his business, he put it up as a rental property and split the house up into a multi-dwelling home. So there was a downstairs and upstairs essential livings, whatever spaces.
That is interesting. Well, Peggy, we should have you up here, really. You're the documents. Karen, hello. Okay, so I've got the there we go, at the screen. Here is the fire report. And this is it. That's it. Seriously.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And through the insurance company that Josh and Troy Hilderman held a policy through, they had their own investigation going on, and they claimed that they had a smoking detector, and they actually stored that evidence in Michigan, and they didn't pay their holding fee for that locker at that storage facility, so they lost a bunch of the evidence that they had collected. And the fire detectors was like the biggest issue because people were saying that, Galen took the batteries out, this and that. Well, it's funny that there was 2 reported, but all of a sudden there's no smoke detectors to be found.
Well, I mean, there's nothing in the rental agreement about them regularly checking it. There's nothing in the rental agreement about, about the fire alarms and things like that. So liability falls to the landlord.
Exactly.
They can't turn around and say, "Well, the tenant took them out." They're saying that the tenant that knowingly took them out, as in they knew. But I can't believe that that's just the fire. That's the whole fire report.
Yeah, I know, right?
I bet Coach Kev's got a few things to say about
Yeah, he has.
that. Yeah, I can imagine. Uh, can someone drop Coach Kev's link, please? Coach Kev is a movie star. Uh, he does a lot of true crime. He talks about
Serial
uh,
killers.
serial killers. I wish he'd do more on fire topics because obviously he's an expert. Oh, there you are. Jinx has done it. Yeah, I wish he'd do more on fire topics because he's literally an expert. You can get to Sleuth Intuition where they go over the fire photos and the way he describes them is just unreal.
Yeah, Coach Kev
He's a
has
funny guy
2 decades
and he's a
worth.
local hero. Sorry, say again.
Coach Kev has like 2 decades of experience under his belt. So yeah,
And he's now a movie star.
he is. He definitely is.
He's if you go and check out his channel, you'll see what we're talking about. I won't disclose it because then you won't go and check. Okay, so I'm going to get the website up now because this is the most. Is there any? Let's have a look. Is there any reports of dispute of family fallouts building up to the fire? You mean the landlord's side, or because I don't think there is any on Galen's side. But like I said, we're going to go on the website now. This is Galen's transparency, her showing absolutely everything.
I mean, I haven't heard any fallouts on Galen's side of the family. Absolutely not. But and not really on Josh or Troy's. I mean, they were doing pretty well with their businesses. Josh Ayers owns 2 hardware stores and he's got other businesses. Now, I do know that, he's got some questionable history with his own properties also catching on fire. There was a fully stocked barn that caught fire incidentally, and he got to collect on that.
So this is the website. There's a video here. I won't play it because I want you to go to the website. It's important that you go to the website because this information isn't YouTubers putting it together. It is the mother and best friend or close friend, should I say. I don't want to put them in an awkward position. But on here you can yeah. So on here you've got all the links to podcasts that they recommend you watch. You even got Indie Archive in here. We've got Zone 7 Crime Online, Over the Fence, True Crime Podcast, True Crime Garage, the Eerie Side Podcast Part 2, Black Girl Gone, Indie Archive Dashcam. That is very important. Is that the dashcam footage that I'm thinking of?
Uh-huh. Yes, it is.
That's from the actual day. News coverage. So you got all the news coverage on there. You got the story. So we click on here. We got the fire. It's actually doing quite well for me today. Remember last time it wouldn't load or anything?
Yeah, I know.
I've jinxed myself. Oh no, here we go. So here's the fire. I didn't get any images of the fire because I knew that we was going to be coming here. This is to show you just how bad the damage was. just how aggressive the fire was.
Yeah.
And if you go and watch Coach Kev, the way he talks about it is brilliant. Like, he tells you where's the hot points. He tells you how he knows these things. He's just amazing, to be honest, and our hero.
He is. He's definitely.
See, he would be highlighting. You see this arrow pointing on the stairs? He'd tell you what that's pointing to. Obviously, next to it, it looks like it's a smoke detector. And as you can see where it was on the wall, but he'd be telling you all these things because he is a fireman.
And that one is actually, that's the stairwell. So, to even get up there and mess with the you needed a ladder. Okay. Like it was going, it's up on the wall in the stairwell. The other one was in the kitchen. But there were two
this is the
smoke
top of the
detectors.
stairs going into the bedrooms. Jesus.
I know.
See, everything, nothing at all. Everything was destroyed. Even the cooker look and what a cooker's meant to do.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep. And yes, it is classified as an arson. It was classified an arson by Dennis Randall about almost 2.5 months after the fire had occurred. People have definitely checked into the whole home insurance or insurance fraud angle, but that's never been, like I said, the initial fire investigations, they had multiple points of origin when that wasn't the case, and during the initial investigation, like within the first 48 hours, there was things that were done that just don't make sense. Like there was part of the floor that was removed, but like that's never, I don't know. It's a really bad situation. Like I just don't understand like how there's not been some repercussions, for how the investigation initially took off. And like I said, it was in the hands of Dennis Randall because he was the Indiana State Fire Marshal investigator. Sorry, his full title is a mouthful.
Okay, so
And
if you
he's
want
all but a
any
hermit now.
information, if you have any questions on this case or any information, go over to Jinx's channel, comment on her videos, hit the like on her videos, and ask. She'll reach out if she needs to reach out. If not, she'll most probably know the answer. I'm going to drop a link now for you to make sure you go over and hit the like on her posts, hit the like on her videos, share them as well, because these girls need justice. They haven't got justice, and it doesn't matter where they're from in the world or anything like that. Just look what they went through. This is where it all ended for them.
It was 4
Do they
girls
not
that were
deserve?
5, 7, 9, and 11. What more does it matter? Like those girls, just knowing that right there is enough to justify that they get justice for what happened to them.
Oh, good, Mrs. P's here. Okay, the life saved. Okay, so
Yes, Peggy,
the
that's
next part
right.
of the website.
It was actually his nephew's wife that called. And his nephew is currently incarcerated for his own stuff.
I'm going to click on this help section. Oh no, there isn't a section there.
I mean, all of the fathers of Galen's girls, a couple of them were incarcerated during the time, and the other ones were out of state. So, I mean, it definitely wasn't any of her past spouses, the girls' fathers.
Right. So you can also get all the documents, the three that we
Did I lose you, Frank? Right, I think I lost it. Oh my God, I know. And I actually have headphones in, and these cardinals are so loud out here. I feel like it's right in my ear. Thank you, Miss P. I appreciate you asking. Karen, if you scroll up a little bit, Gibbo, Frank actually dropped it above. I just want to thank y'all for being here. And I do want to reiterate again, like Frank had said earlier, Galen and Kathy have, done what they feel that they need to do. And, the people who are still trying to reach out to them, I'm sorry, they're not going to give you any more time. Like they put out everything that they can and just leave it at that, like if you have any information, you can always call the Indiana State Police and tip that in. And if for some odd reason you don't like the Indiana State Police, which is fine, that's your prerogative, whatever, well, then go to report your tips to the federal agencies, okay? Like that's my only other option. But, like I said, reaching out to Galen or to Kathy and, bugging them for anything it's just gonna aggravate them and I ain't gonna get you nowhere. So just save everybody the headache. Just don't. And yeah, Frank totally just left me up here and I'm winging it.
Hello. Sorry about that. Okay. So can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. So I think my StreamYard tripped out because I had all the tabs up and things like that. So what I will say on that is because it's coming to the time where Jinx needs to go and feed her husband and probably hose him down in the garden. So
right, yeah.
go to the website. On the website, you can get all any documents that you want. If you are a creator, I ask that you be respectful. They put them documents out there for clarity. It doesn't mean use them as content. There are things that you don't need to put out on your website, on your channel. So check out the description. In the description is all the channels that I've watched that I think are good for this case. Anything you want to say, Jinx, before we shoot off?
No, I kind of reiterated, one thing before that you'd already done. So I was waiting on you to get back. So I figured I'd drill that home a little bit harder, save everybody a headache. What's for tea?
Tea's that like evening meal.
Oh, we're doing Caribbean jerk chicken, and I got some spicy potatoes, skillet potatoes, and some black eyed peas. Now I'm hungry.
Choco, so you know, Caribbean is American for Caribbean.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So yeah, thank you all
So
for coming.
glad
Make sure
you're
you smash the like, share the video out for Galen, and I will be going live again later on an interesting topic. That one will be a lot more laid back, and we will have some fun with it. Thank you to everyone for being respectful, and thank you to everyone for coming and giving eyes on the video. Like I said, can you please hit the like, share it out, because it's really important that Galen's girls get justice.
Amen. Thank y'all
Thank
for
you,
being
Jinx,
here.
for coming up. I'll let you go and feed your husband and hose him down.
Good. Thank you. Love you. Bye.